Lamotte here in Switzerland.
Hi there, I'm Dominik Muggli in the San Francisco Bay Area. Our podcast, The Digital Edge, brings our perspective on the digital revolution with a cutting edge angle.
And today we are discussing our definition of digital transformation. So I've been working on digital transformation for over 20 years. And, my definition is that digital transformation is how to use technology for the business strategy. But if you look over the past 20 years, the definition of digital transformation has changed quite a lot. I would say 20 years ago, it was about, how to sell online. And now we are talking about AI. So while it's a like kind of theoretical definition, it changes all the time. What do you think, Dominik?
Yeah, that's actually a great observation, right? And I feel a similar sentiment. I saw some of these early changes that we had, even as early as my dad converting a typewriter to a word processor, right? So when technology came about, and that was a big step for a small business for him, right? To be able to save a lot of time and energy in making that change and saving time having to retype his business letters and so forth, right? And so, what I think is really, really important is that we look at digital transformation as an environment of constant change, like you had indicated, right? Because technology that's underlying is continuing to evolve as we go very quickly at times. And that naturally means that businesses have to adapt to what's available just to remain competitive. And I think that's what's the tricky and also the fascinating and interesting part about digital transformation.
Yeah, and the complexity is that, the layers are piling up. It's not like you are done with something and then you will tackle something else. Usually, you still need to catch up on the early waves of technology, and then there is a new one and a new one. So it's like you need to run after multiple eras of technological innovation. You're still figuring out how to manage your e-commerce platform while at the same time you have to work with newer technologies. So it's a growing scope of issues and opportunities.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the burden on people in organizations is actually quite heavy, right? Because it's exactly this constant change that happens in the environment. And I think a lot of organizations and a lot of people are still used to working in a frame of mind where you undertake a change and you achieve an objective. And once you reach that objective to accomplish, I don't know, a project or implementing a new process or new technology, that you're then done with that and you can live with that for a long period of time,
Yeah,
right? but
absolutely.
but
Yeah.
that's now different, right? And I think this, and that's why this definition of digital transformation is actually rather important to understand, that this journey actually never stops.
Yeah, absolutely. And I fully agree that I think each organization need to have its own definition of digital transformation. Because if don't align people around a definition and a vision of where you want to go, you have the likelihood to go in many directions. And a few years back, I joined an organization, and there was no clear definition, and everybody was doing transformational project is in their own area.
Mhm.
HR was implementing systems and finance, and there was no shared definition, shared vision, and it was creating a lot of inefficiencies. So, while maybe a digital transformation is a very common term and everybody is talking about it, I think it's absolutely necessary that each organization gets around the table and say, this is what we mean for us in terms of digital transformation, and this is how we are going to tackle this challenge.
Yes, and I think you've said that really, really well. And the starting point is really understanding where the organization is currently, right? And I think there's a point of acceptance and acknowledgement of where the organization is, in the path of capabilities, right? So even absent of digital transformation, right, to remain competitive, to remain a good place to work where people can be at their most creative and their most valuable, right? I think this is a really question of a bigger picture about how an organization can function, and then translating that into digital transformation, again leveraging these capabilities, which are extremely powerful, right? And to help the business compete and grow also. I think that's the opportunity that businesses have. And I fully agree with your point that this is almost a custom personalized aspect for every business to reflect, understand, and articulate what digital transformation really means for themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think especially now with AI, there is a big trap that organizations are rushing to implement AI while some of the basics are not in place. So again, stepping back for a little bit and saying, okay, what does digital transformation mean for us? I think it's a critical step in every organization.
Yes, indeed, indeed.
So Dominic, if there is, one thing to take away from today, what do you think?
Um, Maybe a little bit controversial, but I say that digital transformation is actually rooted in the second part of the term, in the transformative aspect, and to a lesser part in the digital aspect. So if you think about your organization and think about to undertake an attempt at digital transformation, start out with the aspect of change and how your organization can adapt change. So to me, this will then open up the doors and really enable to flex the organization and change with technology. And that's why, to me, this is the takeaway for the audience to think about and how that applies to their organization. What about for you, Françoise?
I think for me is the fact that digital transformation needs to be a common definition in every organization, and it has to be purpose fit, really aligned with the rest of the business strategy. So it's a critical step. I think it's step number one when you start thinking about these evolutions. Thank you, Dominic. Join us next time to discuss how to build a digital strategy. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Thanks for watching.